So hi everyone, my name is Felipe Vega. I'm a co-founder and CEO at WallID, and it's a huge pleasure to be here with you, showing what we built alongside Mintbase and especially for the near community. But before we go into it, just a little bit of our story, and this story goes back to 2017. Two Web3 and digital ID geeks, me and my co-founder Vitor, that it's right there in the first row. The rest of the team, by the way, Guilherme and Beatriz are also here. And yeah, we were working here in Portugal in a tech company building the Portuguese government digital ID infrastructure. And more or less at the same time, we started falling down the Web3 rabbit hole, playing around with what was inside it at the time. And well, after some time, we kind of discovered that the main pain point in this industry was actually the adoption, and especially the adoption and the onboarding of non Web3 native people and DGNs like ourselves, or most of us in this room probably. And looking a little bit deeper into that, we tried to figure out what was making that happen, and our conclusions were pretty much that, well, onboarding into Web3 these days sucks, and we all know the experience of using multiple wallets, connections, and all that. All the developers right now face a lot of regulatory uncertainty, and last couple of months kind of have been showing us exactly that. And well, the trust is not easy as well to establish in the community. We have a lot of scams. It's hard to provide trust between developers and users within this space. And well, the main reason for that, in our understanding, is that when it comes to verifiable data sources and digital ID providers and all those things that allow us to provide trust, the landscape is so scattered that you can't work with it. So there's no interoperability and everything is a mess in this space. So when we were looking at this, and if you look at this messy slide, like you see, you've got some apps that interact with some kind of providers, others with some kind of wallets, others accept. Okay. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. So you've got a lot of different data sources that are available for some providers, and some apps can consume it, some others cannot. So while looking at this problem, we kind of figured out, well, this is exactly the kind of thing that we are used to work with. So this is digital ID and verifiable data sources. So we created WallID to solve these problems by aggregating all these multiple data sources and verifiable infrastructures and make it easy for developers and users to access them. So ultimately, WallID is this toolkit that for developers is based on SDKs and an easy-to-use config dashboard that pretty much allows you to select the data sources you want in order to provide either Web3 authentication through wallets or social logins, or to embed data verification flows based on many and different sources of information, such as government IDs, blockchain information, and Web3 protocols. And also a wallet that is for the user, like a tool that allows them to authenticate both on Web2, Web3, and manage all these data sources as well. But for developers, they can use this wallet as a service themselves for an infrastructure to provide account abstraction and all this connection as well in a self-sovereign way for users. But better than probably talking about all of this, it's to show you an example here, and I'm going to role play right now as an ear developer. So I've got the app established on ear, and as you can see, if you go into WallID's dashboard, you can then config your authentication or verification flows. So with authentication flows, you can select providers to authenticate your users on Web2, on Web3. Here, I'm going to set up a verification flow. So I want to do this, in this case, to build a trust score. So I want to gate the access to certain parts of my system through a trust score that I'm going to establish for the user. So the first thing is I'm going to config a name here on the dashboard. I'm going to call it Mintbase. And then I'm going to select which sources of information I want to add my users to have an option to verify on my website. So I'm going to select the near wallets and near assets. So I want to make sure that users, or if they want to increase their trust score, they have a near wallet and a near asset within. And I'm going to select a few other social logins as well, such as Twitter, Google, or GitHub. And this is going to create this piece of code that you see over here. You can export it and embed it in your website. You can do this on this dashboard, or you can use our libs to do the configs as well. And now when you do it, it's what I'm going to show you here. now we're moving into the actual fun part. So I already have it open here. We don't need to. So, all right. Just get it back. Okay. So this is the app, right? And so right now it has nothing in it. And I want to increase my trust score to have access. Let's say there's a service out there that's going to provide me a loan based not on a financial collateral, but based on my trust score. So I'm going to go and get started. And since as a developer I already embedded the code here in my website, I'm going to have this iframe. Well, so the connection is a little bit slow, but yeah. So the config that I set up on my dashboard is going to appear here, and all these data sources will be available for me to verify once this loads. Yeah. So first thing is, let's say I want to verify that I've got a near wallet and near tokens within. So here it is. Okay. Now I'm going to verify another one, and if you see here, my trust score is increasing, and the app is getting info from that. But I'm going to connect Twitter just for the sake of having another one. Let's say, yeah, but you can only verify my account. Okay. All right. So it connects to Twitter. And all of this is done without me as a developer having to set up all these connections and integrations with the OAuths and the blockchains and all of that. So as you can see here, now I'm going to stop, but you can see I can increase. So now that the app has access to all this data, and they can do whatever they want with the trust scores and the results that I've got from this point on. So yeah, going back to the presentation, this is one of the examples of what you can do with WallID. As I told you, you can do this in order to ensure SQL resistance. You can do this to configure authentication flows. You can do this to onboard users that do not have a Web3 wallet and start by onboarding them through a social account. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of that here with Mintbase and here in the coming future. And well, this is a little bit of what happened during our short life. So we started back in 2021 when we got this team of 4 together. We started building our aggregator, started connecting the multiple sources, and now we have been rolling out the first pilots and the first integrations with some of the Web3 and Web2 ecosystems that you can see here. So a few examples. So for instance, DocuSign uses this integration to provide qualified electronic signatures based on the Portuguese digital ID here in Portugal. Now they extended this integration, and now they allow users to sign with blockchain assets and then to store the documents on chain. Polygon, we are the only browser extension wallet supporting Polygon ID, so we are right now their partner for the purposes related to this. And AppSy, that is the European Union blockchain infrastructure, so we are also a wallet under the certification process, and we're integrated also with their protocol either for verification and handling of users' data. And now in Mintbase, this is exactly what I've shown a few minutes ago. This is what we've been building alongside them during this grant session. Yeah, this is pretty much it. By the way, we're actually fundraising, so if you happen to be an investor, hit us up and we can talk about it. But that's it from us. Thanks a lot.